Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Content Creators University. I miss you guys. I know I wasn't here last week. Your boy has been working hard. For the folks that are following me on Instagram and social media, you know that I just opened my newest location, walk-in photography studio. And you guys know it's been a lot of work for the storefront. So your boy had to go back, back there and really work, hiring new people, having new people join the team and all of that. So I've been really busy, but I'm excited to be back again this week for another amazing episode. And we have, I say amazing because our guest today is amazing, right? He's backstage right there, and I can't wait for us to jump into this conversation, right? The mindset between business and hobby as a content creator. Man, this is a subject that I'm very, very passionate about, and I know you are too, as we are about to dive deeply into it. This is going to help a lot of folks. Now, for the folks that are joining us for the very first time, allow me to introduce myself. My name is JP Hightek. I am the founder of Perfect Zone Productions, and I am a branding expert. What I do is help small businesses, entities, and individuals, develop, establish, and embrace their trademark identity, right? And I do that through my company called Perfect Zone Productions, which is a media agency, and we do that leveraging a couple of things, right, to help you do that, which is live video, videography, cinematography, right? Photography, graphic design, web design, in order for you to do what? Attract premium clientele, premium clients, for you to be able to charge more for your products and services. If you know anything about what I'm saying, you know that's the recipe to building a premium brand so you can build that legacy for you and your family. So if you want to connect with me, well, that is what we do here. And this show right here is all about helping content creators or small businesses leverage content creation, right, to build your business. Very important. How can you make that money? So if you appreciate the things we're talking about, well, I want to encourage you to go ahead and smack the subscribe button right there, right? Like the video if you like what we're talking about. And turn on that bell icon. If you appreciate it, you want to be notified every single time we go live. Right here, right? As you guys know, we have a couple of things that we do before we bring our guests onto the stage. The first thing is, of course, talking about the news. What's happening in the Content Creators University? So we're going to go ahead and talk about the news, and then we will jump and bring our guests onto the stage. Stay with me right after this. All right, folks. For the folks that didn't know, this show, Content Creators University, airs every week, and it is both sponsored and listener supported. So I want to go ahead and give a shout out to some of our sponsors, and that was Reveal TV Network. If you're all about watching movies, simply like Netflix, and you love family version of them, our faith-based Christian platform, go ahead and check them out. That's revealtv.net. Go ahead and get yourself a free 7 to 30-day trial. Check it out. Personally use it. I love it, folks. Amazing things there. And also ExpressVPN, folks. We have ExpressVPN for all the followers and subscribers of JP Hightek, this platform, this YouTube channel. If you are listening to the podcast, I want to encourage you to go ahead and get yourself a free 3-month, right, trial. Just go to expressvpn.com/JP Hightek. Get yourself that. Amazing folks right there. And if you know, VPN is a virtual private network. That's what you want to use in order to protect your assets, your digital assets, especially that a lot of us are spending time online. We want to make sure that our things are encrypted and there's no, open tunnel, anything for any potential hacks or leaks of our information on the web. So that is very, very important, family. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, let's take a look at our news, if you did not know, this podcast is syndicated. If you're just watching this on YouTube, well, know that it is syndicated everywhere. And we have the JP Hightek application, right? You can download the app today. Just go to your Apple App Store, look for JP Hightek TV, download the free application, or go to your Fire TV or your Roku TV. Go ahead and download the application JP Hightek TV and connect with me. Get all the latest updates, listen to the latest podcast, the interview, exclusive interviews, and more on the application. So let's connect. Go ahead and download that. And I want to see you there, folks. That will be phenomenal. Now, talking about being on different platform, right? Let me go ahead and share that with you guys. You can actually go to the website called contentcreatorsuniversity.com is the website. Again, contentcreatorsuniversity.com to join the community. But just know that this podcast is everywhere, right? Spotify, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, you name it. Our podcast is available for you to listen to on your own spare time. And folks, one favor that I want to ask you, whenever you do that, if you like what you're listening to, I want you to go ahead and leave us a review. Let us know in a review if any of the stuff we're talking about is actually helping you out, and how is it helping you out and helping you grow your business and make a better impact. Very, very important. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, of course, folks, for the folks that are wondering, JP always says that he's on Roku TV and Fire TV. How's he doing that? Well, folks, I am using a solution called rtnstreams.com. I repeat, rtnstreams.com is a solution that I'm using. And if you know how to upload a video to YouTube, you know how to use this platform. So this platform allows me to simultaneously broadcast my content, not just on on my website, but on Roku TV application and my Fire TV application. So this is amazing because if you're a Restream solution user, then you can connect this RTMP straight into there, and then you'll be able to link that straight into your database, and this rebroadcast everywhere else. So that's fantastic. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you need to join the Content Creators University so you know exactly the best way to broadcast, the profiles to use in order to keep and maintain your broadcast in high quality, regardless of the device people will be using to connect with you. Again, the solution is rtnstreams.com. That's what I'm using. And for the folks that are like, yo, JP, I want to connect with you directly, well, go ahead and visit my website, which is jphightek.com. Go ahead and visit it. Go to the booking section and go ahead and put a time on my calendar if you want me and my team to help you elevate the things that you're doing. Well, that is where you got to go. Again, the website is jphightek.com. If you're listening to it, it's jphightek.com is the place to go. So now I am ready, right? I am ready to go ahead and bring our guests onto the stage here. And I'm excited because today we're talking about something that's important if you're a content creator. And if you also just do this as a passion, but at the same time you want to build a business, well, there's a certain level head that we need to hold, and understanding when to take things seriously and when to actually ease up, right? Hobby versus business mindset. Our mindset is important because that's what determines the outcome of the things that we're doing, is the way we approach it. So let's go ahead and bring our guests onto the stage right after this intro. Don't go anywhere. Stay with me, folks. We'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, Ash? Welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm so excited. JP, I've been nerding out back here just watching you just like a master at work. This is amazing. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you, man. I truly appreciate that. And you took the time, you accepted our invitation to come onto the platform here and to share your expertise with us. First thing, I want to thank you for that, and I appreciate you for accepting the invite. We always say that our guests are our professors, right, on the platform. So you're going to be our professor today. And like somebody said in the comment section, talking about the folks in the comment section, I see Walter. Walter is saying that we have Professor Borland. in the house right now. Class in session. Absolutely, man. Thank you there. I appreciate that. We also have my man, James Hicks. What's going on, James? Thanks for being in the comment section. We appreciate you being here. First Lady Cree, what's good? What's good, family? Thanks for joining the live show. So, Ash, for the folks that do not know you, I want to go ahead and ask you to take a minute and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, so we can learn to know more about you, please.
Absolutely, yeah. So who am I and what do I do? My name is Ash Borland. I am a content marketing consultant over here in the UK. So I'm based in the UK. And I actually have a 6-figure consulting business where I will work with people within the financial services sector. But then aside from that, I'm also a podcast coach. And that's been something that that's not more passionate about, but that's where I really find that, real kind of fire in me. And because of that, and then I kind of got into podcasting purely by accident as a content marketing consultant. I just started making podcasts, and over time, that show went to like in the UK charts over here in marketing. I was like top 2% in the world for podcasters, and over the last 6 years, it's just kind of evolved into something kind of really exciting. And so, I don't like talking about myself too much in the backstory because I'm sure it'll come out as we talk through. But that's me in a nutshell, really.
Whoo, man. I know there's some folks listening or watching this, but man, I want to be like Ash one day, man. I want to be able to build also my 6-figure consulting business. I want to really leverage content creation and really grow the things that I'm doing, which is what this show is all about. So you are the right person for the right subject. So thank you for taking the time to introduce yourself, Ash. That's phenomenal what you're doing. So now, before we dive into today's conversation, we have some fun questions to ask you, right? And the first one I want to ask you, Ash, is if you were a superhero, who will that be and why?
Oh, that's a good one. If I was a superhero, who would it be and why? I think it would be, I'm a big fan of, oh gosh, it's a really tough one. Who would I be? This is a really good question.
Yes,
I think I would be, I've always kind of loved, I'm a Spider-Man fan, if I'm really honest with you. And it's really weird. I just think that there's something about the reason why I like Spider-Man and why I would be him is there's something completely like Clark, like that kind of idea of no one knows who he is. He's living this, he's struggling in day-to-day life as a kid. And I think we never really feel like we've got our life together. Do you know what I mean? And he's got that kind of thing. So I'd probably be Spider-Man. I think that it's just a really cool power. He's not some sort of massively macho, huge, over the top. So it'd probably be Spider-Man if I was going to be a superhero. But that would not so much the superpower, just more the story and his life is what I'm more interested in.
Wow, that's nice, man. Yeah, we already know. We already know that whether he is Spider-Man, defending and saving people's lives, or, just the high schooler or the neighborhood, dude, he always has an edge over everything else he's doing, right? Because of the way he approaches things. And that is just phenomenal. So next question I have for you, Ash, is to ask you, okay, if you were to meet Ash, 15-year-old of yourself, what would be one advice you give him and why?
Oh gosh, brilliant. If I was to meet my 15-year-old self, I would say, do not do what you're about to do. And what I mean by that is do not, actually the real advice with that would be you are intelligent and don't think you're not. So I'm dyslexic and it took me till being about 24, 25 to figure out that I wasn't stupid. I was just learning in a different way. And that's why I say about don't do what you're about to do is if I had known what I had known, like saying when I was 25, when I was 15, I probably would have been a very, very different person. I'm a lot more intelligent than I ever thought I was. And if I could tell myself that now, and it's just exciting because I've got a son, so it's like you can do it again. But it's like if I could tell my 15-year-old self, like pick up an audiobook, get into podcasting, as in like listening to podcasts, and surround yourself by great people. Because you're not dumb, you're smart. It's just then that would be. I mean, me and my wife talk about it all the time. Life could be so much, and I think we're all like that. how many
Yeah.
people. I'm lucky that I found it at 25, I guess. Like most
Hmm.
people, like find it in the 50s and 60s. So yeah, like that was what I would say.
Wow. Wow, man. That's amazing. And that's a good one. Yeah. You're smart. Believe in what you know. You're smart. You're not dumb. Stop doubting yourself. Just do it and have faith that, is going to
Exactly.
produce something positive. And I love that message, man. Thanks for sharing that. That's pretty deep. So you're a content creator. You're a podcaster. You're a business owner. All those things.
Yeah.
Some people might tell you, man, that's my dream. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. But, how do I look at it? How do I look? Is it a hobby? Is it something I should take seriously because I'm trying to build a business? How do I look at it? Before we talk about that, I wanted to ask you, right? Everyone has a reason why they actually podcast, why they actually create content. What is your why? Why do you do it? What's the driving force behind it?
For me, I would love to say it's something more profound than it's just a diary. For myself, I have to do it. If I don't create, I've made daily content. The why I do it now is very different to the why I did it when I first started. So that's why do you know what I mean? So the why when I did it when I first started was when you're in a point of kind of you'll make a change when the pain is big enough. So I was in a point where I hated my job, I
Mm,
hated my life, and I was forced to make a decision of I'm going to do something different. So I started making videos. That was 2017. Now why do I do it? I don't know a life where I wouldn't. So it's literally like if I
wow.
don't make content every day, I've never missed a day. As in, I've always made content since 2017, whether that's on some platform somewhere, I've always done it. And now it's kind of like a creative release. And that it's really weird because people will ask me, why do I make so much? I'm quite
Hmm.
unusual when you see how much content I make compared to everyone else. And it's because if I don't, it physically, like, it doesn't cause me pain, but it is like that. It's like I'm uncomfortable. You have that feeling where you've got to go to the gym or something, and you're like, I haven't worked out, and I need to, and
Right.
it's a weird feeling. So the why behind why I create is from a personal reason, it's that, and then from a selfless reason, it is this idea of goes back to the thing about me being a kid. Um, the resources were not there when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
there wasn't people like yourself. There wasn't people like James and that in the chat. There wasn't, and so I
Right.
make the content that I know I needed, and it wasn't there. So that's kind of the big motive. That's my why of motivating, and then the reason why I do so much of it is purely because I have to do it. Otherwise, I get like
Woo.
grumpy.
I believe this is the first time that we're having a guest on the platform that said that, they cannot imagine their life without creating content. I mean, they cannot
Yeah,
think of living without creating content, becomes part of their routine, their way of living. It's part of who they are. And that's powerful, right? That's powerful what you're saying. Because my next question for you, before we dive into the mentality or the mindset to have is, of course, you're doing all of that and you're successful. So would you attribute your success to, how much you're doing or how present you are, or simply that you have a secret sauce that most people don't know?
that's really great question. This is brilliant. I'm loving this interview. So a bit of both, a bit of both. So I think most of it is hard. It's just if you show up enough, it'll work. And I think that's the thing that the fundamental thing that no one can see. Like I'm successful because I I wasn't successful in 2017 when I started. It didn't
Hmm.
work that way. I realized that if at the beginning it was like you say more of a mental health thing to kind of just do something, a creative outlet. If you show up week in, week out, day in, day out, it is impossible for you to not see some form of success. Someone will notice.
Mm.
Like whether that's rise and fall. And I was watching your story on Walters, and you're talking about how you've started again and you've done it again and you started again. That's
Right.
all part of it. You don't stop. You keep moving. That's the 99% of it is around that. And then the secret sauce thing, I would say I am just naturally very confident in this scenario. I'm not a very naturally confident person, but I am very confident. I'm a performer. I was trained as a performer. I was a West End, so Broadway for you guys originally, that was my original career. So when I picked up that camera in 2017 for the first time ever, because I'd never been on camera before, but I'd always performed. When I started doing things, I was like, wait a minute, I can do this. So I do have an unfair advantage because I have 6 years of professional performing arts training and also professional work experience in theater. So that is definitely a secret sauce, which means that sometimes, but we all have those, we all have sometimes. Right. If you watch me and people are like, how does Ash, I get a lot of times people go, how do you articulate yourself so well and hold yourself so well like this? Well, that's because I'm a performer. But then I watch people like yourself, JP, and I'm like, wow, you're a TV producer. This is insane. I can't do. We all have our little secret sauce, but it's 1% of what makes us successful. The 99% is just keep showing up.
I hope you guys are listening, taking note, right? Because Ash is dropping some bombs. It's 1% of what you're successful at. 99% showing up. Meaning you may not have a superpower, but simply because you're showing up and being consistent and keep pushing and keep creating, you will, like Ash said, you will always experience some sort of success. Something will happen out of it. Well, the thing is, though, you have to be consistent. You have to be committed. You have to keep pushing. You have to put out quality content. You have to show up for yourself and for your following. That's powerful, man. Thanks for sharing that. That resonated a whole lot with me, and I'm loving that. So, fantastic. Now, you decide to help other people. Because, if we take a look at your YouTube calls you a coach. So you are a coach, and you're helping other people achieve the things that you're doing. So, tell me about this. Because did you just find yourself coaching people and you decided to do that as a business? Or is this something you've always aspired to do? How did you end up creating this type of business and doing what you're doing now professionally?
Purely fluke. It was never, if 15-year-old me, like I said, I'd never have known this. I'd never even thought it was a job. You got to remember as well, JP, to give people some context. Mm-hmm. Everyone I speak to here is in the US, but I'm from the UK, and you guys are way further ahead than we are when it comes to content creation. This idea of what we're talking about here, this doesn't even really exist in the UK. There's a few people, but there's not many. It's not as culturally. So for my idea of this being a job, it was never going to be the case. How I got into it was purely by accident. I stumbled across Gary Vaynerchuk's podcast about 2016, or maybe a bit earlier. I was right at the beginning, and I was listening to that. And so then and then, as anyone does with Gary V stuff, you listen to it for like 2 years before you decide to do anything with it. And then one day, as I said, I was kind of at an all-time low in my career, which was in finance. I worked in finance. And I was like, I can't do this. I want to do something else, but I can't find leads anyway. That was what didn't want to deal. I wasn't very good with estate agents, which is real estate agents. And I was in the mortgage space. I wasn't good with sales. So I was like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way than this. And I was like, yeah, I know Gary Vaynerchuk has been saying this. So let's just pick up the iPhone 6 and prop it up against the coffee mug and talk about it. And that was the first day. And I say from that day, which was like November in 2017, it was right at the end, and it was coming into Christmas because I remember being miserable. And it was like, and it was this idea of like, I'm just going to make content and see what happens. And for the first 6 months, nothing happened. Like nothing happened at all. And then what happened was I started to generate leads, and these leads started to come in, and they started to come in, and they were good. And they were like pre-qualified, they wanted to speak to me. They didn't want a mortgage. They wanted to speak to me. And I was like, wow, this is great. And that slowly, that got bigger and bigger to the point where I couldn't deal with the leads anymore. I was stuck and I didn't know what to do. And so it was fine. I was just kind of like passing them off to people. But what also happened at the same time, which was completely unexpected, I didn't think it would happen, was other mortgage brokers here in the UK I'd started to build a small name for myself within the self-employed mortgage brokers going, no one's doing this. This guy is the only guy making video content. And what happened was a few people started to reach out to me and say, well, can you, would you teach me? And I was like, yeah, okay. And I didn't really know the fees back then. I didn't know what to charge. So I was like, okay, well, how much is my fee for a mortgage? And I would just go, yeah, okay. And I remember throwing out like some stupid figure at the time. It was like, for you guys, like $1,500 for the day. I was like, $1,500. Yeah, go on. And they were like, yeah, okay. And I was like, what? And I remember going into this guy's house and like into his like office and training him on how to present a camera, how to do, and getting back in the car and going, I remember ringing my wife and being like, I'm in the wrong business. And I was like, I've just done this. I would have done that for free. What am I doing? And then what happened was COVID came along and the decision happened. I was doing a little bit of consulting and then having a finance business, doing very well with that. And when COVID came along, shook everything up. And I just made a decision. I was like, do you know what? Let's try that. Let's go all in. And I went all in. And I was talking about the business mindset. I went business mindset and I just hammered it. And it just skyrocketed very, very quick. And now, like, the sky's the limit, really. Now I'm in a whole new, that's where this podcast coach is coming in, is now I'm going for a new niche and a new market. I watch people like yourself who've done this, you dominate different areas. It's very exciting. Once you've got a taste of that success, I know that you're the same, you realize that you can replicate this in different niches once. It's just a template. Once you know how to do it once, you can do it a million times. So you just need time. That's the only thing. You need 2 to 3 years of solid work to be able to make a solid income. But now you don't have to worry. I'm sure you're the same. You don't have to worry as much because you got one already. So you're like, okay, well, I'll build the other one then. So so that's how I got into it. I never thought I would be in it now. And I don't know where it'll be in 5 years' time because it'll be in this space. This is my life now. This is my life's work 100%. I'm all in. But whether it's morphing and it's crazy, it's changing, and people like yourself, people like James and Walter in the chat that I'm meeting, it'll change. I don't know what will happen. The world is changing. This content space is the frontier that's so exciting to be on, in my opinion.
It is. I mean, it is. We live in a creator economy. You need to understand content. You need to be able to leverage the power of content creation. If you own any business in this century that we're living in right now, this is where it's at because content is dominating every single industry right now. So understanding how to build your brand around that and pushing things out will truly drastically change the way you're doing business. And that's what people like you and I are doing, and understand how to do it. That's fantastic. Fantastic how, your story went from you not even looking for it, but because you were creating content and you were doing something that others weren't doing, then you understood the power of it and people approaching you, asking you for stuff. And now, guess what? Now you position yourself as the expert in what you've been doing for so long. That goes to understanding the power on building a solid foundation, right? The foundation is where it's at because somebody looking at you today will be like, oh, I want to do what Ash is doing. And I want to do it at that same scale or maybe what I'm doing, right? You're talking about the level of production and stuff.
I want to do what you're doing.
I
it's amazing.
That. I know, right? And now understanding that, oh, snap, what that person is doing took some time to build that foundation. So you have 2 ways. You can watch Ash or watch JP or watch whoever you look up to and try to replicate, or you can hire their services, cut through the red tape and have them teach you, which is what you're doing, teach you, train you so that you can position yourself there. And now you become a pro because you just learned a new skill, because anybody can learn a new skill. It just depends on the desire. So now let's go to the mindset aspect of this conversation, because some people will tell you, I just love doing it. But when exactly should I decide to make this a business? When people are just asking me to help them, or should I start with intentionality. Okay, I really want to build a business. What is your input with that?
This one's I love this topic. I think it's just a topic that I haven't seen many people really talk about openly and honestly, personally. I mean, that's my opinion on it. So I think that there are two types of creators. There are like hobbyists, people who are doing it for a hobby. And by the way, both of these are amazing. So this is never, people who are watching this is not a negative thing. It's about understanding which one you are. Are you there's a hobbyist, and these are people who, I'm not really interested in making this career. You'd see this on some of the people like, I think the biggest one where I see people that are like, I want to replace my income, but they don't really know what they want to do. They just say, I want to replace my income. I can spoil it straight away. I'm like, okay, so you have no idea what you want to do with it. You've got no goal other than that, which means it's a hobby. That's that. And then you have what I would say is like a business creator. And our business creator is trying to make an income from this. And when they're trying to make an income, firstly, they're going to make income through other services outside of their content creation. They're never going to make money. Not never. There's obviously like there's a few exceptions, but the majority of the creative economy is not making money on the platforms.
Right.
They're making money off the platforms through courses, consulting, coaching. They're using that to drive. But the mindset shift is very different. And the thing that I think people have to think of is either going in from this as a business straight away, then approach it like a business. If you go into it as a hobby, then that's cool, but don't then get annoyed that you're not getting business results. This is the issue I see, is that many people, if you want a business, you got to approach it like a business, sit down and prepare for a long time before you get any success. But like I said, if you go in it, and what I see often is people approaching it as a hobby, but thinking they're approaching it like a business, or watching someone like me. So if you're watching someone like myself and like doing what I would do, and say someone like you, JP, if you're watching that, but you're somebody who just wants to do a YouTube channel on, say, crocheting or whatever, and just talk about then watching me making a video a day and this hundreds of hours for yourself on producing these like slides and this wonderful show, that's not viable. So right. I think sometimes I think we need to, like, that's my mindset on this is I think certain creators, and I'm not going to call anyone out on it because they're big creators, they need to define who they are for. Are you giving hobbyist advice or are you giving business advice? And they are two very different things. And so you as the creator need to decide, what do you want in your heart? Now, don't get me wrong. If you do a really good hobby channel and it starts to really blow up, you will probably switch and that will happen.
Right.
That's great. You'll switch over. That's when you go to people like you, JP, or like someone like myself and go, okay, I've now got budget. I've now got, the ability to invest in this channel and invest in what I'm doing. But I often see a lot of people who have these completely mixed up, and
yeah, I mean, you're right. Go ahead, guys, put in the comment section below. I just looked up and saw we have about 66 people watching this right now, and I know a lot of folks are getting a lot of value out of what you're saying, right? Because one thing that's a fact, Ash, is everybody wants to make money. I don't know one person that will tell you, no, I don't need any money. Don't give me a dime. I'm good. No way. It doesn't matter. You want to make some money. So as we want to make money, I say we need to actually predefine exactly how we want to do things as we're creating content, as we're trying to put ourselves out there on the web. Because however, the way I should reword it, the way we present our content will determine who cares about it or who we attract. So the question there is, who do you want to attract? Like how many people spend their time before the start thinking, who do I want to attract before I even create the content?
Oh yeah. No, they don't know. I think that's the thing. That's the kind of golden rule. And I see this a lot with a lot of channels, creators, TikTokers. Most of these, they haven't got their avatar. They haven't understood who they're trying to reach and what they're trying to achieve. They just have completely missed the plate with that. And the problem with this is if you don't, and I love what you say about like this idea of everyone wants to make money. And that's the truth. Everyone wants to make money. But then if I get on a discovery call with many of them, or if I'm chatting with people or anything, they'll say, "Well, I want to do it." And I'm like, "Cool. So who's your target audience?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to sell them? What is the solution? What's their problem? It's the 5 ones. What is their problem? What is their solution? Most of the time they're like, "Oh, I don't know." And it normally comes back to saying, "Oh, well, I just want to sell merch." I'm like, "No, like merch or ads and that's not the case. Like you really have to focus on like a goal. You need to know who your audience is. The reason why my first thing, once it took off, is
Mm-hmm.
I understood that there was a need for mortgage advisors and mortgage brokers in the UK. That was super niche, super clear. I could understand them. The product then could be sold, and then my content could be tailored to those people. If you're making content that's too broad and you don't, then it means you don't know what you're doing. You're very unclear with your marketing, with your branding,
Mm-hmm.
with your messaging, all the stuff that you do, JP, really well. Is that it's very, you've got to make it clear to the person. If you don't make it clear, they won't buy. It just won't happen.
You better say that again, Ash. If it's not clear, people are confused. They don't know exactly who you're talking to, who's your target audience, what exactly you're saying. Then they're not going to take any action. And we all know that taking action is where everything is at. Let's go ahead and take an ad break real quick. When we come back now, I want to get some, tangible advice from you. How did you do it? What did you do to get where you are? We want to know exactly what did Ash do. We want to learn from you, and also talk a little bit about your amazing studio that you have back there, what we're looking at. So stay with me, folks. We'll be right back right after this.
Hey guys, whoever's listening to this, I really need you to hear what I'm about to talk about. I'm going to talk about how do you actually customize your look. One of the things that I have been striving for is to have a different look to my overall videos. And what you're seeing right now is kind of my current state, the current state of my look. What I wanted to have was a more cinematic perspective for my live streams and also for my videos. So what I did was I reached out to JP Hightek, and JP Hightek he pretty much tailored my look and feel to exactly what I wanted. Here's the example. This is me right now before JT's magic, and this is the magic of JP Hightek right now with my look. This is exactly the look that I wanted to have for my videos. So we had a session this morning, and it was pretty much a tailored session where we stripped all of my lights away. We stripped all of the background colors, everything. Positioned my lights. We focused in on my camera's white balance first and foremost. And then we actually looked into customizing my LUT. So once again, this is the before. This is the before of what my look looks like, or what it was. And then now here's a gradual transition of JP's LUT for my look. I can temper this look if I wanted to. If I wanted to have a little less, I can do that. If I wanted to have the full I guess power of the LUT, then I have it all the way up here as well. And it has the look that I have been going for, which is even though I do live streams and videos, I want to have it a little more cinematic, and he's actually been able to give this to me. So if you are looking to customize your look and feel for your brand, this for me is just the beginning of what we're trying to do. We customize the color of my look for my videos, and now we're going to be doing a couple other things to kind of bring my brand, a little more alive as we continue to get down this journey with live streaming videos and content creation. You need to call JP Hightek and connect with him as soon as possible. as soon as possible so he can customize the look and feel that you want. Once again, this is the before and this is the after. Thank you so much, JP Hightek. I appreciate all of your support and being patient with me this morning and for providing me with the look and feel that I've always wanted. Thanks again.
All right, family, welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been here with Professor Borland in the place, Ash Borland. He's been talking to us about the right mindset to have and understanding the hobbyist or the business owner mindset approaching content creation, and also the nuances between those, understanding where you're at, the target that you're speaking to, and what that will do for you as a creator or for your business, and leveraging that to grow and make more money. That's what we're talking about here. For the folks that were listening to this are like, oh man, I loved what I just heard, creating my custom LUT. Shout out to Steve Worthy. We worked with him. I took time and on a one-on-one call with me. We work on his LUT and create that custom LUT, which is something that is very, very important. I use it personally, and I work with every single client designing their own custom LUT. Somebody might be like, why will I have a custom LUT? Well, guess what? The LUT you're going to buy out there and apply it to you was not designed with your space in mind, with your lighting situation in mind, with your camera, specific camera in mind, with your mood or the look you're trying to build in mind, or with your skin tone in mind. There's a lot to this, right? I have a cinematography background, and this is something very crucial. So what we do with my company, Perfect Zone Productions, is we create custom LUT for people so you can look $1 million, right? So you can really, really look amazing. So if you're looking at my video, you're like, oh, I really love the way he looks. That's simply because this is what we do. We can do it for you as well. Like I said earlier, you can simply go to my website, jphightek.com/booking, right? HIGHTEK.com/booking, and book your time. Let's see how we can help you, right? That is very important. Now, if you just want to go ahead and book this, you can straight go to the website, which is jphightek.com/custom LUT. All right. You can go there. And when you go there, you'll be able to have your custom LUT designed for you. We've been working with organizations, individuals, when it comes down to, building this for your live stream, because a lot of times people might be able to do this for pre-recorded videos, but when it's about their live stream, they find it hard to do. Well, guess what? You want to be able to do that, and we want to empower you to be able to do this type of thing. So if you're looking for that, again, the link is jphightek.com/custom LUT. Go ahead and check it out, folks, and let's go ahead and bring our guests back onto the stage. Hey, Ash, thank you, man. Thank you for all the amazing things we've been talking about. Very, very amazing. So now, we want to know, okay, I understand the concept, everything you're talking about, Ash, but how did you do it, right? Because, it's hard to build a YouTube channel, and I don't know if I should just be producing just to produce, or I should produce and promoting my business. How did you do it? Exactly. Tell us step by step.
Yeah, so how did I do it? The thing that I focused on to build a business and to get myself really kind of financially free in that sense, to get to that point, the thing I focused on was, and it talks about hard work. You talked about hard work at the beginning. I sat down with my wife and I said, look, I want to do this as a job. After we'd had that call, we got, I drove and said, this could be a thing. I said, I want to do this as a full-time job. And I understood content by that point, because I've done content for a while, and how I ended up and how we pulled the trigger was her advice. She was really smart, and I use this now for everything, and with any new adventure, so to speak. Is she said to me, if you want to make this work, you have to go at this like no one else it could possibly keep up with you. In other words, what she said was, if you wake up every single day and you make a piece, and this is where the everyday came in. She said, you wake up every day, and back then it was personal branding and content marketing for financial advisors. Now, personal branding was what I wanted. So she said, you've got to wake up every day, and you got to pick one topic. And on that one topic, I would wake up, I would format it down. I would, so I'd write it out, bullet points. Then I would go up and I go live that morning, and I would record a live stream on that. And then I would drop it into my editor, and I would edit it up and turn it into like a YouTube video on my old channel, which isn't actually up anymore. But it was, and I would do that, and then I would turn it into a blog, and then I would clip it into small clips. And by the end of the day, I would effectively do with that Gary V thing of, when you repurpose content. She was like, you need to do that every single day. And I was doing that every day. So I was making like 3 bullet points per point. I did it every single day. And she said, what will happen? She said, Ash, what will happen? She said, is you do that until you sign your first client. And then what you do is you sign your first client and you remove that time that you would with the client. And then you do it. And eventually she said, you're going to find, she said, if you want it to be a business, eventually you will find that people will come to you. And that sounds really silly. Like, I've never actually said this properly on a channel, because it's not really something people really ask, because it's not very appealing. It's one of those, like, people go, what, I have to work hard to be successful? Like, it's that, like, right. I just woke up every day and acted like, if I didn't, I was busy. I was working on my business. Even though I wasn't making any money, I would turn up and I would talk about personal branding. Now, the trick, and this is the real important thing, say, how did it work for me? Is that work ethic worked, but there was the fundamental thing that made it very successful, very quick. One is luck, but one of them was laser focused on one niche. And I was obsessed with making content around personal branding. And for 1 year, that is all I spoke about. If it wasn't related to personal branding, I was not interested. And the reason why was my clients at the time were not large organizations. It shifted, and then it shifted to content marketing as my clients became more corporate, and I could deal with them larger. So personal was not so much as a thing anymore. But because I picked personal branding and just spoke about that day in, day out, week in, week out, very quickly, people started, what started to happen was people were going, well, you're the personal branding guy. You're the guy that knows. And actually, if you talk about something every single day for a year, you know a lot by the end. Because bear in mind, I'm not just talking about it, I'm talking about it, I'm editing it. So how many times you're watching that one thing and editing that one thing, and so by the end of it, it's fully in your body. You know everything about that thing. And someone could ask you a question and so without sounding like, that's kind of really, that's it. That was it. That is how I got success. I'm not very smart. I'm smart, but what I mean is it wasn't like some sort of business funnels. I just made more. If you want it, it was my wife that said it. She said, if you want it bad enough, you're going to show me that you want it bad enough. This is what I think you need to do. And
very true.
And that's what I'm doing with podcasting right now. I'm doing the exact same approach with podcasting as I did with personal branding. It works. It just works.
It works, man. It works if you put in the work. Let's say that again. It works if you put in the work. Ash didn't get where he's at today just by luck, right? And I don't actually know anybody that were just lucky. Even those that say I was lucky, I'm sorry. They have been creating content over content, over content, over content. It doesn't just happen. You have to put in the work. Then things will follow.
Yeah, I would add on to that. And that's something that was one of the things, like there was a few people I'd met that I was very impressed by, but they didn't know. What I started to notice was I was like, oh my gosh, these people are amazing. And this is something that's really important. If you are trying to be the smartest person in the room of what you do, it's impossible for you to fail eventually. And what I mean by that, that's what it was like. It was like, I want to be the guy in these interviews, for example, that if you asked me a question, I could actually answer it and not be pulling from things like be authentic, be yourself. Right. It was like, I could actually sit down and talk to you about, Google Cloud Vision, about how things work, like the tech, the deep side of it. That was something that was very important to me, was this idea of like, if I'm going to, and I think it's to try and get rid of imposter syndrome, maybe. But it was this idea of being like, I wanted, and I still want that now, but I wanted other creators. I didn't want Joe Public to think I was good. I wanted, and which is why it's so humbling when now I'm getting like creators going, how are you doing this? And I'm like, yeah, it just took 5 years or 6 years, but it's like one of those things where it took 5 years. But yeah, it's like, that was from day one, that was the goal. It was always that. And I think that one thing, that fundamental hunger of wanting to be, it's not the best. I just wanted, if I wanted to know it. It was like, I wanted to know, if you asked me that question or a client asked me that question, that I could talk to you about the TikTok algorithm, and I could talk to you about the YouTube algorithm. I could talk to you about all of it. And that means hundreds of hours of research, a month. But when you love it, it's not really work, is it? So that's where, when people ask why I was so successful, the truth is I am nowhere near as successful as I should be compared to the knowledge I have, because I'm not a very good business guy. I would probably earn like 10 times what I earn if I've got friends of mine who make way more money than me with a tenth of the knowledge, because they understand good funnels and they understand funneling, they understand automation. Like, I don't have hardly any of that, purely because I understand it, but I just don't have the time because I'm too busy making content because I like it. So I think it's one of those, like, it's not all. Yeah, I think I'm just frozen, but I don't know if you can hear me still.
Oh, no, you're not frozen. You're not frozen. I can hear you perfectly. Oh, looks like he's frozen. That is phenomenal, family. I mean, it's just amazing. What he's saying, I love that story. So I just saw that a comment came out there from Travis Lachner. Hey, Travis. So here's the deal, Travis. You can definitely get. Travis is asking, can you do custom LUT for a Brio webcam? Well, yes, Travis, you can definitely do a custom LUT for a Brio webcam. It doesn't matter what camera you're using. What matters is having that custom LUT, because that's important. You need to have that custom, because what that is doing, regardless of the platform that you're using, it will improve your look. It will improve everything you're doing, right? And you will definitely look better because it is a LUT. LUT are made to make you look better. That is what is used in cinematography when they're editing videos, right? Post-production level, and they're making sure whatever video they're editing looks better, right? So skin treatment, image, lighting treatment, all those things are put into it. And that takes, again, like I said earlier, it takes your space into consideration, right? Your unique space is calibrated for you to look better. So if you think, regardless of the camera you're using, if you think that you like your current, your current look, or even if you think it's decent, well, using a custom LUT will make it look even better. That's the beauty, man. Even better. So I want to highly encourage you, again, for the folks that are wondering, all you have to do is go to jphightek.com/custom LUT. Again, jphightek.com/custom LUT. Now, let me go ahead and bring my guest back onto the stage. Welcome back. What happened there?
My internet's just gone. So,
man,
can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. You're not frozen. We can hear you. Looks like it's going in and out.
My internet's gone. So you're currently on my hotspot, but it's really.
Wow. Well, hey, the beauty is that we've gotten to the end of the show. So I was just about to close. Close and tell you thank you for everything. So for the folks that really want to connect with you later, book you as a coach or anything like that, where are the places and spaces that you spend your time so that they can connect with you? Let us know, please.
Yeah, so the best place is on anywhere on YouTube for podcasting, and then and then I'm going to wait. I don't know if you, there you go. And then ashborland.com for any of the consulting stuff if you want to work with me as a podcast consultant. And I do apologize for my random internet going.
Not a problem. It happens. Like you said, right? Like you said, it's Ashland. Ashborland.com.
It's a hard one to say.
Yeah, ASHBOR Land, LAND, ashborland.com is his website to connect with him and book him for him to help you elevate with your podcasting. And of course, go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Again, folks, the YouTube channel is Ash Borland, the podcast coach. Ash Borland, the podcast coach. Let's go ahead and subscribe and support amazing things he's doing. Hey, Ash, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. And I know we'll connect backstage later and talk about other stuff, collaborate on different stuff. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to come in here. You be safe. And we want to see you again next time for another episode on the Content Creators University, man. You be safe. See you later. All right, family, this is it. This is how we do it, right? This is the end of the show. Internet was dropping, but he still made it on his hotspot, which was amazing. Want to thank you for being here. And if you appreciate this type of videos, family, go ahead and smack the subscribe button, right? Go ahead and subscribe. This is what we do, right? Subscribe to the channel, right? On YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast, this is JP Hightek Reviews. And of course, turn the bell notification so you're always notified every single time we go live. And thanks for the folks that are joining us in the comment section. Walter Strong, shout out to you. I appreciate you guys being here with us. And again, folks, this show airs every single week. We want to see you next time for another episode. You be safe. Like I always say, shalom. Bye, folks.